Good afternoon, quilt roadies. Welcome to this channel about quilting, at least for the most part, and a lot of hand stitching. I wanted to say right up front that I will be having 3 separate videos of my girlfriend trip up to Snohomish, Washington. I had to practice that word several times before I could get it out right. Snow-ho-mish. It is the home of Colleen, who is one half of Stitching with the Sisterlies. We spent a fabulous weekend, or a few days there, with Cheryl, her sister, who is also stitching with the Sisterlies, floss tube, and quilting. And Cheryl will be in the future having another channel about homesteading and quilting, so stay tuned for that. That's going to be exciting. And then Stitchy Witch 42, which is our dear Audrey. So the drive up was, nothing like, it took us 8 hours. 8 hours to get from Portland to Snohomish, Washington. But we did stop for a fabulous lunch at a McMenamins in Tacoma, which actually had a painting. One of my daughter-in-law's family is very much involved in the artwork with McMenamins, and her father set the brand with his style. But hanging in the restaurant of the McMenamins in Tacoma, which is in a fabulous building, an old Elks Lodge, was a painting done by her cousin Cleo, so it was fun to see that family connection there. I am going to divide the video up into 3 segments, otherwise it's going to be way too long. And I did want to give each quilt shop I visited their just due, because they all brought a different type of charm to a quilter's life. And so this first segment will be about Shiplap quilts, and I will put the information for them in the drop-down description box. So if you see something that you must have, be sure to give them a call up. And I would appreciate, here's the thing, when you are a YouTuber who travels to quilt shops or stitching shops, I have been told no. Sometimes there's a little reservation to having you film. They're not quite sure what you're up to. So it would help all YouTubers who do these travel type videos if, when you order something either from a cross-stitch shop or a quilt shop that you see on anybody's channel, just let them know where they saw it. Where you saw it. That way the shop knows that, yes, in fact, you're just enjoying the journey and wanting to help promote the love of sewing, stitching, because that's what needs to happen. We need to keep these brick and mortars opened. So there's my little soapbox. And like I said, it'll be divided into 3 segments because I did visit 3 separate shops. So each day I will do an introduction, much like this, on what's going on in my stitching, quilting world, and then we'll get into the shop tour. So the first one will be Shiplap quilts, which I understand had moved. And in the previous location that it was at, it had a coffee shop, which would have been fabulous. It would have been fabulous to have a little place to sit down and peruse. But they moved to a bigger location from what I understand. The trip was awesome. Like I said before, there's nothing like traveling with friends where you get to laugh and to talk and to share. And I will also ask G, of course, you know, I have to help figure out how I videoed on this camera all these different places. But I did ask Colleen if I could take photos of the things that she had hanging around her home, because that is how we get inspired to, you know, oh, I want to make that too. And her home is filled with quilting and cross-stitching, and she is a history buff. And I am too. I mean, when I was in the 8th grade, I had a dream of going to college and majoring in history and then becoming a lawyer. Yeah, that didn't happen. But I do love history. And so when I went to one of the antique shops, I bought this frame because I just absolutely loved it. And it had the picture, an old picture of, I think it was Jefferson Davis. So isn't that a fabulous frame? I mean, you know, and it was nailed in there. And so I asked Colleen if she would like the etching that was in here, because I was going to, you know, reuse this frame. But isn't that great? I found this at one of the antiques shops in the area. And so we did do a little bit of antiquing. Now, as far as stitching goes, while we were on the road, I continued to work on my Kathy Schmidt pillow. And this is August. I'm almost getting towards the end of that. And then it'll be on to September, which doesn't have quite as much stitching in it, which is really good. But I had, it had been a long time since I had seen or heard of a Ben Franklin. I don't have any in this area, and so I really wanted to go to one. And boy, is it a nice store. And in the store, they had all kinds of quilting fabric, but they were giving away these free charts, this little free card to make this pillow. And the pillow that they had was made out of Zen Chic fabrics, and it's the little 2-inch squares. So I ended up buying this packet right here, which is, you know, we do love that 2.5-inch squares, so we get to taste. It's kind of like getting a box of See's candy and taking a bite out of each one. Yeah. So I'm going to make that pillow with this little packet sometime this fall. It's going to be my fall package. And let's see, is there anything else? Oh, Colleen, now Colleen is multi-talented, because she's not only doing cross-stitch, she is piecing, and she is a long arm quilter. She has a long arm set up in her dining room, and she also does machine embroidery. And when I was looking at her machine embroidery, I told her, I want one of these. She was making a whole pile of them, and so she gave me one. That's Abe Lincoln. I'm going to do some kind of little wall hanging with him. Machine embroidery is pretty darn impressive, how you get it all programmed. Let's see, anything else? There's so much to share, and I will be sharing over the next 3 videos as we do the shops. Hanging out with friends and relaxing and stitching, and I stitched a lot. Anytime I sat down, I stitched in the car. It was wonderful. Cheryl drove, which was way exciting for me. I never liked driving. I wish, I was a driving Miss Daisy. That's what I was. But when I got home, I received a package, and, you know, these notes that are written by people that have been a part of your YouTube journey for many years, and you hear about the transitions of their lives because you know your life is transitioning also. But Mary Jane sent me this absolutely adorable salt and pepper shaker. It's an old salt and pepper shaker that's a beehive. Isn't that amazing? And then she had put a little bee in it, a little bee. And the thing, oh, my neighbor is mowing his lawn. Yeah. Boy, he looks like he's dressed up to not be recognized. He's got a mask and a hat and glasses. Yeah. Okay, I digress. But this brought tears to my eyes because she included in this box a rock for my grandson, because I must have somewhere along the line said how much I have one grandson who is a rock collector. He's 7 years old, and I, in fact, on this trip bought him a little geode, I think they're called. But she included in this is this little rock in here, and it says Genuine Plymouth Rock from Massachusetts. Thank you. Thank you. This means the world. Thank you. Okay, so at the beginning, I'm going to try to help Jay. I'm hoping it's going to be at the beginning of the video. If not at the beginning, it'll be at the end. But it'll be a slideshow of all the fun things that were at Colleen's house. And then you will also get a walk around from at Shiplap Quilts. Okay, thank you. Thank you for stopping by. You all take care, and you know I love you. Well, guess where I'm at? This is in, I believe, Tumwater, Washington, and we are at the Shiplap Quilt. It is looking awesome already, so let's go inside. I promise I won't buy anything. Not. Who's this in a quilt shop?
Kidnappers brought me in. I've wandered around. Can we leave now?
No.